Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining us on this edition of News 2. I'm Sandra Gamansing. In our top story, across the territory, Virgin Islanders took a moment to remember this local and national hero. D. Hamilton Jackson is remembered as a civil rights leader. He was born on September 28, 1884 on St. Croix. Throughout his life, he was an important figure in the struggle for civil liberties and workers' rights in the territory. He also championed freedom of the press, funding the publication The Herald. He also lobbied for citizenship for Virgin Islanders after the Danish transfer and organized the first labor union. On St. Croix, D. Hamilton Jackson Day, or Bull and Bread Day, was celebrated with fanfare. And dated with the undaunted by the weather, Crucians showed up at the park named in Jackson's honor, where speeches and presentations depicted his life's work and his contributions to the Virgin Islands. The community joined government entities and nonprofits in celebration of Jackson's life. We will have more on the D. Hamilton Jackson's remembrance on St. Croix in a later newscast. VI Taxi Association members are breathing a little easier for now. Last week, they were barred from doing business at the Waiko dock on St. Thomas after Waiko awarded the concession to Best Taxi this year. But the tables have turned temporarily. A Supreme Court decision is now keeping out Best Taxi and temporarily putting VI Taxi back to work. News News April Knight has more.
The VI Taxi Association is back in business at Waiko on Tuesday. That's after a Supreme Court judge reinstated the association while they're waiting for a decision from the lower court.
So the Supreme Court entered a temporary order putting VI Taxi back, exercising the concession agreement pending the judge's written order or written decision.
The association was temporarily kicked out of Waiko last week Wednesday when their TRO against Waiko and the new contractor Best Taxi ran out. VI Taxi alleges that Best Taxi does not have what it takes to run the busy concession. They also say some conspiracy and collusion occurred involving former VI Taxi counsel Terry Griffiths, who's now working against them in this case. According to VI Taxi, they send some 200 drivers on a busy day to Waiko to service passengers. Their 650 members would be severely impacted by the loss of the Waiko contract, which could still turn out against their favor when the Superior Court judge hands out his decision. According to VI Taxi, even if they lose this battle in the lower court, they still have a shot at winning the war by taking the fight to the Supreme Court.
The judge has already said he will not extend the restraining order, so we view that as not ruling in favor of VI Taxi. That's why we filed an appeal to the Supreme Court, and that's why I said we may have lost the battle at the local court, lower court level, but there's still the battle before the Supreme Court.
Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
According to Attorney Kofeld, they are fighting to make the VI Taxi Association's reinstatement at Waiko permanent. Count on 2 to keep you updated. Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett is hosting a high-level official from the Federal Communications Commission in the territory this week. Mignon Clyburn, a commissioner with the FCC, will spend the week meeting with local stakeholders in the telecommunications sector, learning of their challenges as well as exploring existing opportunities for technological innovation and increasing access to technology for Virgin Islanders. There are a number of ongoing initiatives, the delegate says, in the territory that have the potential to make the Virgin Islands a key staging area for new advancements in telecommunications in the Caribbean Basin. The Congresswoman has assembled executives from WTJX, Innovative, Broadband VI, as well as Virgin Islands Next Generation Network to meet with the Commissioner. On Monday, October 31st, around 7:57 p.m., this is our crime report. 19-year-old Luis Carrion and 22-year-old Leroy Simon, they were placed under arrest for assault. Here's more.
Mr. Carrion and Mr. Simon were throwing eggs which struck several individuals who were attending the Halloween block party in Strand Street in Frederiksted Town. Unable to post bail, both Carrion and Simon were remanded to the Golden Grove Detention Facility pending advice of rights hearing. Acting Police Chief Winthrop McFarland, St. Croix District, stated there is absolutely zero tolerance for this type of behavior. Citizens in this community should be able to go out and have a safe, enjoyable evening at all times, and is proud of the job his officers are doing every day. If you know about crime in your area, please continue to call the Criminal Investigations Bureau at 340-778-2211 in St. Croix, 340-774-2211 in St. Thomas. You can call Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-TIPS or 911.
On Monday, October 31st, Avondale George Jr., 18-year-old, and Enoch Justin Cole, 18, was rearrested as adults on an arrest warrant by a Superior Court judge. The charges are murder first, robbery first, assault first, and unauthorized use of a vehicle. Both Avondale George and Enoch Cole were arrested as minors for the murder of Augustus Banis that took place at the David Hamilton Park in Estate Grove Place. Both men were placed, their bail was set at $1 million and were remanded back to the Golden Grove Detention Facility. 39-year-old Alejandro Torres was also arrested on a warrant on October 31st by a Superior Court judge for grand larceny and burglary. Mr. Torres was wanted for breaking into a commercial building establishment and stealing items, including money orders. Bail for Torres was set at $35,000. Unable to post bail, he was remanded back to the Golden Grove Detention Facility. He is in Golden Grove for previous charges, burglary and attempted rape. Well, this week, the Virgin Islands Parole Board, they will be hosting a series of town hall meetings. The new Parole Board chairperson, Mr. Dennis Howell, scheduled those meetings in order to introduce brand new initiatives the board plans to undertake to provide an opportunity for the community to ask questions and to educate the community on the role of the board. This is a perfect opportunity for community input. The meetings are scheduled for Thursday, November 3rd at 11 a.m. at the DP&R conference room at the Cyril E. King Airport in St. Thomas. The second meeting is on Friday, November 4th, 11 a.m. at the Department of Education Curriculum Center's conference room. That's on Kings Hill, St. Croix. Well, as the Virgin Islands celebrates Restaurant Week, or Dine VI, students across the territory took part in the activities. In the past couple of days, the VI Department of Tourism supported some local organizations in helping VI youth discover the science and art of making food and sourcing them locally. News 2's April Knight has that story.
Young Virgin Islanders didn't get left behind during the Dine VI events this week. On Sunday and Monday, students from St. Thomas and St. Croix got to participate in Food Learn, where they discovered how their food makes the journey to their plate. Food Learn is a collaboration led by the Virgin Islands Good Food Coalition in partnership with Ridge to Ree Farm and the U.S. Virgin Islands Department of Tourism. Participants got to learn from top culinary experts about the art of making food. They also got to sample creations with emphasis on locally sourcing cuisines, including their featured mango dessert.
One of the ingredients in it is fresh mango from the farm, so it's not from any jam or jelly or preservative.
Summer Sibylle Brown of VI Farm to School shared how this effort of getting food from local farms to schools kicked off.
12 children engaged in webinars, they met with Chartwells, they sat in planning sessions, they spent the rest of their school year really fleshing out what they thought farm to school would be, and digging up dirt.
Brown also said she might be named the founder of the organization, but she gave props to the students whose vision made it happen.
When I up there and Lenica and Kendra would come up, I am so honored to have the privilege of carrying your vision.
The Food Learn events are about creating opportunities for young people to fall in love with food and farm culture, and in the past few days, they did exactly that. Reporting for News 2, I'm April Knight.
Turn our attention overseas. The FBI says its investigations have shown no proof of criminal connections between Russia and Donald Trump, his presidential campaign, or its backers. The FBI has been probing the matter on several fronts, including the various hacks of Democratic Party organizations. At this point, U.S. law enforcement officials believe the hacks are the result of Russian spy agencies trying to cause havoc with the U.S. election, not specifically trying to help Trump or any other candidate. The FBI is also investigating whether a Trump supporter, Roger Stone, is conspiring with WikiLeaks to distribute hacked emails from Democratic Party officials. Stone denies the charges, and the FBI has found no evidence that WikiLeaks is conspiring with anyone, including Russia. Keeping our eye on the economy, let's take a look at the stock market watch at the New York Stock Exchange. According to the numbers there, everything down. The Dow 105, NASDAQ 35, S&P 500 down at 14. Coming up on News 2, a breast cancer survivor shares her story and encourages everyone to recognize the importance of early detection. That's coming up. Welcome back. As Breast Cancer Awareness Month comes to a close, we share a survivor's story. Deborah Cattell heard the words, "You have cancer." She says it doesn't have to mean a death sentence, and that's the message as a survivor she wants to share. Find out why this survivor says the diagnosis and the fight has left her stronger than ever. Deborah Cattell has always recognized Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but she never thought the month would hold more meaning than it does now.
I will be sitting in front of my TV. Anytime I have a moment, not in public, I would check myself regularly.
You see, Deborah is an employee of the Charlotte Kimmelman Cancer Institute in St. Thomas. It is her job to remind patients that cancer is not a death sentence. Then one day, she felt a lump.
As I was sleeping and I turned myself, I was turning over, and I happened to brush my hand against my breast, and I found a lump. So the first thing I did was I jumped up and I said, no, it can't be. So I said, okay, maybe it's something simple. So what I did is I called my doctor, Dr. Sidney Commission. The following week I went and I did the service. The same day I had the surgery, Dr. Landrum was here, and he was able to do what he needed to do. And the next day, Dr. Commission came and said, "Debbie, you have cancer."
Immediately after receiving the harsh news, she had to make a decision on what procedure she would choose.
They said, "Debbie, you're a triple negative, which means we cannot treat you the normal way we treat breast cancer patients that have the common breast cancer." I said, okay, so what are we going to do? He said, well, you're going to be taking the strongest medication.
Now she feels it's necessary to share her stories to those battling breast cancer, as well as the importance of early detection. She had a mammogram in November 2014. By May 2015, she was a stage 2 patient.
Whether men, female, children, just get yourself checked. One thing about here at the Cancer Institute, if your children are, have questions and stuff, the doctors will talk to them. My daughter was with me when I had the chemotherapy. My daughter was me. She saw me when I had the radiation. They showed her what the room looked like and what I was going through. There were days that I tried. I said, I can't get out of bed. But I said, Lord, please just put my foot down and I will do what I have to do. And I did it.
Deborah says she is grateful for the support of her family and staff at CKCI and the Schneider Regional Medical Center. She will be monitored for the next 3 years due to the aggressiveness of the cancer. We wish her all the best. Well, meanwhile, due to the air conditioning not functioning, CSVI are moving their speaker, the next speaker, to the Schneider Regional Medical Center conference room on the 2nd floor. Cancer Support VI is sponsored by International Capital and Management Company. Their next free lecture, again, is presented by Reverend Dr. George Franklin, an inspirational messenger of love, motivational speaker, and speaking coach, certified trainer, and master teacher. He will speak on giving your health a faith lift. This free lecture will be held from 12 noon to 1 p.m. on Wednesday, November 2nd at the Schneider Regional Medical Center on the 2nd floor in the Conference Room A. Free flu shots are available by the Immunization Clinic, the Department of Health. Bring your immunization cards, they say, if you have one. Seniors, don't forget to bring your Medicare card. And these are the dates right there. Friday, October 28th, AARP office, Sunny Isles, 10 a.m. to 3. Friday, November 4th, at the D.C. Cannegator Ballpark from 10 a.m. to 3. And then Friday, November 18th, at the Juan F. Louis Hospital lobby from 10 to 3. Now on St. Thomas, Friday, October 28th, Crown Bay Center, 9 a.m., 3 p.m. Friday, November 4th, Tutu Park Mall, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Friday, November 18th, Roy Lester Schneider Hospital lobby, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. St. John, it's Thursday, November 3rd, at the Morris F. DeCastro building. So as you can see, they are underway. Some have already kicked off. Virgin Islands Department of Education, St. Croix District named Dinah Brown, an English teacher at the St. Croix Central High School, as its 2016 District Teacher of the Year at a reception held at Sunday, October 30th at Government House in Christiansted. The celebratory event, attended by district and state officials, recognized Ms. Brown for her achievements, in addition to the 4 other Teachers of the Year finalists, including Elizabeth Beck, Business, St. Croix Career and Technical Education Center, Saida Carter, English, St. Croix Educational Complex, Barbara Daniels, Music, Ricardo Richards Elementary School, and Taisha St. Jules, 6th grade, Claudio Marco Elementary School. We'll have more on that. Virgin Islands Department of Education Safe Schools program on St. Croix sponsored a training session for over 100 response team members in the school district on October 27th to the 28th. That was held at the Virgin Islands Territorial Emergency Management Agency, or VITEMA, in the headquarters in Christiansted. The Understanding and Planning for School Bomb Incidents training specifically focused on prevention and response to school bombing incidents. Well, mark this on your calendar on Sunday, November 6th at 1 p.m. The Nigella Hodge Foundation, they will be celebrating 20 years of service to the children of the Virgin Islands and the Caribbean. They will celebrate with a luncheon at Fat Turtle, Yacht Haven Grand. There will be live testimonies telling how the organization has made a difference in lives. They will be honoring 3 individuals that have been faithful to their services in the foundation, and the children, Miss Marion Francis, Miss Eva Donovan, and the late Vita Williams. Many children and their families were helped and assisted by this organization. Where there is gold in Mexico, the Bertha Seba Shelton Middle School Blazers basketball team, they returned to the territory yesterday afternoon, winners of the 2016 Copa Bacalar basketball tournament in Chetumal, Mexico. The 18-member team received a hero's welcome by supporters from the Department of Education, the Department of Tourism, and members of the community. The Blazers, led by tournament MVP Calio Terry, won all 6 games, including a 64-24 championship game victory over the Toros of Tabasco, Mexico. Coach Ricky Mabry is very proud of this team's accomplishments. Here's more.
We have not lost 1 game since last year. Tournament-wise, game-wise, playoffs, we have not lost a game. So, you know, I asked them to be perfect, and to be honest with you, they are perfect.
They learn about different cultures and all that, because there was teams from all over the world. Argentina, Chile, Mexico, Belize, Puerto Rico, and the list went on and on and on. They rose to the occasion. They were able to pull it off, and Khalil was able to come back for the finals, and we did what we normally do, and that's win.
And big congratulations to the team. Job well done. Be sure to stick around. Your News to AccuWeather forecast comes your way next.
Well, we've certainly been seeing some very unsettled weather. In fact, there's even a flood watch out because these grounds have gotten so saturated that any more water could potentially cause some flooding. So just beware as we head out. But the reason why we're seeing all of this wet weather, we have this area of low pressure center just north of Puerto Rico, and that's passing eastward. So we're picking up a lot of that moisture here over the Virgin Islands. As we take a look at the radar, just a very active, all the green rain as showers, the red as well as the yellow, heavier downpours and even some thunderstorm warnings. So definitely been causing some issues over the past few hours, and we will continue to see that throughout tomorrow as well. As we head into tonight, we're going to continue to see that rain and thunderstorms. That low pressure system will begin to shift eastward and be just north of the Virgin Islands come your Wednesday, and that's going to bring some heavier downpours as well. So out on St. John's for tomorrow, we're looking at 87 degrees, rain as well as the thunderstorm. St. Thomas as well getting in on that action. St. John's and St. Thomas will be getting the heavier of the downpours, but don't rule out St. Croix because they are also going to get some rain as well. Here's a look at your marine forecast. Now on the Atlantic side, our waves 3 to 5 feet. We're looking at some reaching up to 6 feet. So definitely choppier out there, but we don't have any advisories. So our winds out of the northeast 10 to 15 knots. Those could get a little bit gustier, but really not too bad. And as we head on to the Caribbean side of things, our waves slightly calmer, 2 to 4 feet, up to 5 for just some of the unsettled ones, and our winds out of the northeast 10 to 15 knots. Here's a look at your extended outlook. So rain and thunderstorm on Wednesday. It'll begin to die down and taper off come Thursday. However, your Friday, that's looking your best day. More spotty showers, more chances of seeing the sun. Out of the next few days, it's definitely the day to bank on having better weather. Come Saturday, however, we'll have another front that's going to slip through, and that's going to be bringing us some more showers as well. Back to you, Sandy.
Thank you for that. It is time for our News 2 weather picture. And speaking of showers, Sativa Paul of Ricardo Richards Elementary School is reminding you right there to keep that umbrella handy because you never know, sunshine, rain, but we're prepared for the rain. Sativa, thank you for that. Send us your News 2 weather picture to News 2, Innovative Business Center, 4611 Tutu Park, Suite 300, St. Thomas, VI 00802. And that will do it for this edition of News 2. We'd like to thank you for joining us for all the latest. I'm Sandra Goman saying have a wonderful evening.